Okay, so today we're going to be talking about microphones and specifically the Dachman Audio DA87i, which, as you would expect, is their attempt at a recreation of a U87. World-renowned microphone. I think we've all heard about that. But let's talk about microphones in general before we get into the specifics of this microphone. I think a common mistake. Now, what I'm about ready to say, I know I'm going to have people disagree with me. Just listen to the logic. If you disagree with me, fine, I can respect that. But I'm going to give you my opinion, what I've learned over all these years of doing this. I think a lot of times these wonderful microphones, especially ones back in the 60s and 70s, developed really kind of renowned reputation, kind of like a U87, like a Yuri 1176, or like a Tectonics LA2A or something like that. Renowned. Everybody's heard of them. The same thing for a lot of a U87, a U67, a U47. They made fantastic microphones. So a lot of people know about those microphones. Just like today, everybody's heard of Auto-Tune for all its greatness and all of its suckiness, okay? But at the end of the day, everybody kind of knows about those microphones. And for good reason, especially specifically the hardware gear I talked about, not Auto-Tune, by the way. There's a lore attached to that. And I think if you don't know this by now, you should know this. If you buy a Neumann U87 today and think it's going to sound anything like that U87 that was used back in the day, it's not. It's not going to be as good. Is it still going to be a very good microphone? Well, of course it is. Back then, you could never find two U87s to sound the same. Today, we've got all these wonderful reputations of these wonderful microphones that do and did and still do sound fantastic. I don't care what anybody tells you. They don't sound like those ones back in the 60s and 70s. Can you honestly expect to pay $700, $1,000, $1,500 for a microphone and expect it to sell or sound like a microphone that you go back and buy from back then is going to be $10,000, $15,000 today probably? Of course not. So what do I mean by all of that? Don't sweat it. Find a good microphone that sounds great and use it. Learn to use the tools you have in your studio to get the very best results with the money that you can afford. I am a big proponent on investing at least one quality microphone preamp and one quality microphone. Everyone has limitations in their wallet. Everybody, I do, you do, everybody's got limitations in their wallet. So what you've got to try to do is get the very best you can for the money that you have. What Dachman is trying to do, at least my perception of it, is they're trying to make what I think they would say a high quality microphone, built very well, built very solidly, and try to recreate the tonal characteristics of some well-known microphones and do it at an affordable price. Well, maybe you didn't know this, but I sponsor my own videos. I don't take outside sponsorships. I have a side business called Artisan Woodshed. You can go to www.artisanwoodshed and check out what we offer. I make custom desktop enclosures for a lot of different control surfaces. Today, I've got them out there for Softube's Console 1, as well as their fader, both of them in the MK3 version. In addition to that, I make them for PreSonus's Fader Port 8 and Fader Port 16. Again, you can go to the website and check those out. I've recently introduced Avid's series of control surfaces where I can make it for a single dock or a single S1, or maybe you've got an S1 and a dock. I can do a 2-bay, a 3-bay, or 4-bay, whatever it is you want. All you got to do is go to www.artisanwoodshed.com. So I encourage you to go check these things out. I work really hard for you guys, and I'm always trying to come up with new ideas, things that I can make that are helpful to those of you in the studio while bringing a bling. My goal in all of this is to be able to make something that does just that. It looks absolutely beautiful on your desk in your studio. The next thing up, I want to put these control surfaces at an angle that makes them so much easier to use, And then lastly, I try to do the best I can to make them affordable. And so when you can put all that together, it's really quite a great bang for the buck. I've got nothing but 5-star reviews, whether I've sold them on Reverb or via the website. I haven't had a single negative review. I haven't had a single one below 5. So that tells you that people are very, very happy with them. And I know you will be too. So go to www.artisanwoodshed.com. Lastly, I have affiliate links with Sweetwater as well as Thomann. If you go down to the link below in the description of this video or any of my videos and you click that link, whatever you add to that cart, I'll get a tiny, tiny cut of it. That's how I keep my views honest and direct for you without any implications or any outside sources affecting my opinion and what I have to say. So I appreciate it if you support me either via the website or the affiliate links, and it helps me kind of keep doing these videos for all of you. Now let's get back to this video. So you've got to make the decision which one is right for you and what can you afford. Are you going to get the mileage out of that microphone for the price? Does the price justify the end result? And that's what I hope to be able to show you today with the Dachman Audio 87i or DA87i, whatever you call it. I don't know. Well, like I said before, I'm just going to go up. I'm going to make up some vocals. I'm going to make up some lyrics so you get a chance to hear what this microphone sounds like. Okay. So let's go to that right now. Don't judge my singing. Don't judge my lyrics, because I literally am making it up from the time I step in front of that microphone until I stop. Okay. So that's what it is. Again, I'm no vocalist. Excuses out of the way. All right. So let's go to do that right now. I've been searching for you all my life, never seem to find you. I've been looking for this mystery, this thing called you. I need to know the truth. So many times I've failed before when I try it on my own. I fall down and you pick me up. You put my feet on solid ground. I'm with you. My love, my love, I need you, yes I do. So let me talk about in general, let me talk about the microphone. So let me go back here and grab it again. And let's talk about the build quality of this unit again. You can kind of see it right there. It is well made. It's well constructed. Comes, of course, with its own shock mount and everything. And so you've got that. And you've got your switches on the back for polarity, as well as, you got your switches on the back for a 10 dB reduction, as well as a low pass filter. And then, of course, you've got your various settings on the front of it, whether you want to do Omni or whatever it is you want to do. You've got those options in front, and it would do it on that, meaning the reasons for all the various extra pins. This is your typical 3-pin XLR connector. It goes in like that. Mount it to this. To mount it to the shock mount, you just screw that on and screw that off to take it on and off. And so that's how you do that. Now, one thing that I will tell you, let me tighten that back up here real quick. One thing I will tell you about that is it's one little beef about it, but I don't like it at all. I wish they would fix it. When I go in there and I put my XLR connector right in there, there is very little, if any, room to get your thumb in there to push the little latch to bring it out. So I'm always nervous when I'm going to try to do that I'm going to be applying too much pressure to the bottom of the unit. So kind of keep that in mind. Dachman, if you redo this again, I think you'd want to address that and make that very easy to get in there. Probably extend this part down here, extend it out further a little bit. I think that would be much, much better. But the build quality seems to be quite solid. It seems like a well-manufactured unit. I'm sure it's probably made in China or something like that to get it in this price range, or some other country outside of the U.S. But regardless of where it's made from, doesn't really matter to me. I think just as long as the quality is there. Now, as with most microphones, it ships with a nice little box too, pretty little box here, right? That you store it in and transport it if you're going to transport or something like that. So you kind of get the little bling with it, okay? All right, so let me set this back off to the side. And I'm going to share with you my overall thoughts on the microphone. I'm going to put it, because I never know when you're going to watch this video, so you're going to have to check. I'm going to put the price of it, up here on the screen. Okay, this is what it's going for currently as the date this video is made. So you can kind of measure that against that. I think it is in the more economical side of things. And so where does it stack up, in Barry's opinion, to microphones that may be $300-400 more? You're going to get some more advantages out of that $300 to $400, but not so much, honestly, in the overall tonality of the recording. I think you're going to get some other features in there that you don't get with this. Preference on the total sound of it, that is just that. That is a preference. It depends on what you're going for and what you're looking for. I think in this particular price range, I think this microphone seems to be a great value to me. I don't get a chance to try every single microphone in this price range. And I didn't think originally I was going to pair it up with some microphones that were kind of do a competition back and forth between ones that were more expensive and things like that. But they're modeling different mics, okay? So that wouldn't be fair either. So I decided not to go down that road. I'm sure with anything else, you can buy the microphone if you don't like it and see what the return policy is. But if all I had was the money that it takes to purchase this, and it was important to me to have a much better microphone than what I have today, I wouldn't hold back on purchasing this microphone. I think it deserves consideration, absolutely. Is it going to be the very best that you can get? No, but you've got to expect at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. And that's almost always true in all music gear. But until next time, I hope every one of you have a great day, and stay safe, stay happy, and create some great music. Bye-bye.